The fact of the matter is, if you're in real estate investing, you're going to get sued. We're going to teach you how to stop a lawsuit before it ever starts. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the boardroom.
I'm a hustler, homie. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, homie. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, homie. I'm a hustler.
So, again, we've established that if you've done enough real estate deals, eventually you're gonna get sued. Also, if you've done enough real estate flips, you're gonna have a pile of cash, and money is actually completely worthless unless you can use it to buy more money. One of the best ways to do that is by owning rental properties. Believe it or not, the majority of the real estate in the world is actually paid off, and that's really stupid. Now, without getting into anything really complicated like LLCs or land trusts or something where I'm going to have to talk for 45 minutes and charge you an assload of money, I'm going to teach you a really simple way how to stop lawsuits before they start. Now, we all know lawyers, right? And we all know that in most cases, somebody, if you wronged somebody else in some way, is going to go get a lawyer. And the more money you have and the more equity you have in your properties, the wronger you are in life. If that's even a word, wronger, okay? So what you want to do is limit your exposure. And if you have no exposure, you can be an asshole like me, which, I mean, that's true freedom. So in this situation that I have concocted on the board, you have a property that you've acquired. When you acquire a property, you get a deed. In most cases, you're not going to want to pay cash for the property, especially if it's a rental. So you're going to get a loan from a bank that's going to be a first mortgage at a favorable interest rate. Now, as real estate investors, it is your job not to pay full price for anything ever. Okay? So in this particular situation, maybe you paid it down a little bit, maybe you bought it for 1/3 of what it's actually worth, but you've got a first position mortgage on a property for $100,000, and if you look at the value of the property, it's $300,000. So there's $200,000 in equity. The way that you're going to establish this is either by getting an appraisal done, and by the way, if you're going to pay for an independent appraisal, don't try to influence the appraiser, okay? Don't tell him, I think this is what it's worth. Don't give him a contract. Hire him, pay him or her, send them in blindly, and tell them to come back and tell you what it's worth, because it's the only way you're going to get a true number. If they get a contract from a mortgage broker, they're always going to try to make that number, and most people try to sell for top dollar anyway, because most people only buy one house in their life, so they're emotionally attached to it, and they'll overpay for shit. We're not looking for shit. We're working for deals. Another way to determine that value would be to get a realtor, and yes, I hate realtors, but appraisers use sold comparables on the MLS in 1 square mile that are comparable. Okay, so if this is 3 beds, 1 bath, they're going to take every 3-bed, 1-bath house in 1 square mile that is comparable to this particular one that has been sold in the last 6 months, not listed, actually sold. And then they're going to take the average of 3 of those and give you the value, $300,000. Again, you have to tell your realtor you want an actual CMA or a comparable market analysis done for what this property will actually sell at. Not to list my property and for 6 months telling me drop the price, drop the price, drop the price, drop the price, like so many of you, oh I'm sorry, realtors actually do. So once you have that, you can establish the value of your property. The next thing you're going to do is you are going to create a private second mortgage, and if you didn't have a first and you paid cash for the house, you can actually have a private first mortgage, but in this case it's a private second, payable to the Riddler. No, just kidding. Payable to anybody other than you. It could be a company you own, but I would prefer it not be in the event that you don't do your taxes right and you get sued and somebody can breach the corporate veil. So think about this for a minute. Who would you trust to hold on to your equity? Or who would you trust if something happened to you? Do you have a kid? You can actually create a mortgage for more than the property is worth in this particular situation. We have debt on a property for $400,000 on a property that's worth $3 million. We've created our own short sale, and the mortgage can have whatever terms and whatever value we dream up. Does the money actually have to exchange hands? No. But we give them a mortgage in exchange for value, and the value in this particular situation is protecting our equity from piece of lawyers that don't really know how to do this or how to understand anything like this, because they don't think outside of the box, and they went to law school to work for people like you and me. So you can create a mortgage that is greater than your equity and make that payable to one of your children, payable to an aunt, payable to an uncle. Don't make it payable to a spouse. 50% of marriages don't end well, and also I think they can also get assets from your spouse in the event you get sued. But if it's one of your kids or a friend of yours or somebody that you trust, the way that lawsuits work is somebody goes, "Hey, person watching this video, I think you've wronged me. I'm gonna go get a lawyer." The lawyer then says a whole bunch of big words and makes themselves feel important and basically sucks their own in front of you. And what they're actually doing on their computer is an asset search for the person that they are about to file suit against. And we've already accepted the fact that a lawsuit is nothing more than about money if it's civil. It's the adult version of a fight on the playground. Now, if you had the exposure here for $200,000, many times the lawyer would tell that client, who's many times broker than you, "I will take this case on consignment for 1/3 of what we get." And they would get 1/3 of your $200,000 in equity, sometimes more, for the bullshit work they put in. They are essentially ambulance chasers, and they are suing you because they know they can get something. However, if that second mortgage is in place and you have no equity and your property appears to be over-leveraged, and in fact it is, because this is not a fake document, it's real. Then when a lawyer sits down and uses all those big words and tries to impress the client who's about to sue you, the viewer, and they do an asset search, what comes up is the property has 2 mortgages on it, and you actually owe more on it than it's worth. Does this mortgage have to have payments? No, you can make it with interest accruing, okay? So it is real debt, and it does encumber the property and gobble up all the equity. And instead of the lawyer saying something like, "We will take this lawsuit on consignment," they will then tell the client coming after you, "We need a $5,000 retainer for you to retain the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe to go after Mr. Kohout, who has wrongfully wronged you in a very wrong way because somehow you've been wronged in the wrongness." And when a lawyer charges you to sue somebody, if you've ever sued anybody, let me tell you right now, it's a really good sign that you're going to lose, because there's nothing to get, and all lawyers really truly care about is getting paid. They got law school loans, they have to feel important, this is what they need to do. So again, you're going to create a second mortgage. If there is no first mortgage, you're going to create a first mortgage. This is really simple. There's actually a template in the course that we offer, which you can click below. And by the way, smash like and smash subscribe, because I know you've enjoyed this. And you're going to gobble up all your equity and give it to a trusted person. And while you're doing that, you're also going to have to create a note, which is something that sits separately in their safety deposit box. And in addition to that, you can also have them sign a discharge at the same time. So if the time ever comes when you do sell the property, you can discharge that mortgage and the equity comes to you. And if that time never comes and you die, well, maybe that equity should go to somebody you love, like one of your children's, or an aunt, uncle, mother, sister, brother, friend. My name's Chuck Kohout. I hope you guys have really enjoyed this. I don't know why anybody else doesn't show you this. Probably because they're not really doing this. Okay, one more time, smash subscribe, smash like. I'll see you soon, and if there's anything else you'd like to hear from us, let's hear about it in the comments. We love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.